ang sabi ng aming kasamang co-complainant na si dating Secretary and Congressman Mike Defensor na soon ay ihahayag niya yung detalye ng claim niya na si Elizaldico, dating ako Bicol representative at House Appropriations Chairman, ay nalantad at magtetestigo kung sakali ay tanggapin ang aming impeachment complaint ng House of Representatives. And he is saying na baka through video conferencing. And I believe that si Saldico ay mayroong planong ganon. Kasi inilahad na niya in a series of videos yung alleged involvement, no, ng ilang mga personalidad, lalong-lalong na ang ating incumbent president, Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. dito sa flood control scam and other corruption scandals.
Gaano ho yung magiging lawak ng testimonya nitong si Saldico if ever, at admissible ho kaya sa impeachment court kung video conferencing yung medium na gagamitin?
Yes, napakalawak ito at napaka-importante ng magiging testimonya niya kung sakaling payagan siya through video conferencing. A video conferencing is allowed. In fact, nasa jurisprudence na natin yan. Pinapayagan niya ng husgado eh. So, there is no reason why the House Committee on Justice, kung sakali man mapunta yung aming complaint dyan, ay hindi payagan through video conferencing yung testimonya ni Saldico. Kasi may mga instances na wherein na ganap yung ganyang klaseng mode of testimony, no? Merong isang babae na nagtestigo through video conferencing in one of the committees ng House. So that is already a trend and that is admissible, Dennis, kasi sa batas natin, sa rules natin, yung video conferencing is already normal now eh. It is allowed and admissible in evidence.
Okay. Ano po naman ang inyong plano ngayon in terms of filing dyan ho sa House? Dahil hindi ho ito tinanggap. Wala ito si SecGen, ano? So, pagbalik po ni SecGen, are you planning to refile it, Attorney?
Pinag-uusapan namin, Dennis, and ever yung sitwasyon na yan, no? Kasi we are disgusted, we are frustrated, we are sad. Nung Thursday, pumunta kami, January 22, hindi tinanggap ng House Committee, House Office of the SecGen yung aming complaint. Kasi kahit absent si SecGen Garapil, allowed ang opisina niya to receive. But during our inquiry sa kanyang executive director or deputy, sinabi niya na wala raw iniwang instructions yung boss niya na si SecGen Garapil, and we were insisting, you know, ang filing ay sa opisina naman eh. Yung personalidad ng head is inconsequential. And in her absence, na hindi naman kami may kasalanan, siya naman ang nag-absent, automatic yan ng opisina mo, lalong-lalo na ikaw, ang next in line ay pwedeng tumanggap ng aming complaint. I was raising even a precedence, Dennis and Ever. Ang sabi ko sa kanila, sa Bautista impeachment, wherein I was the counsel of complainants, Jacinto Paras and Ferdinand Topacio, it was a successful impeachment kasi natanggal si dating COMELEC Chairman, Andres Bautista. Ang tumanggap sa amin, sa umpisa ay ang Deputy Secretary General, and only about several minutes later, dumating yung SecGen. So you see, the House itself has violated its precedents in the case of Bautista, who was impeached by the House. So bakit naman ganon? Parang merong concerted effort on the part of the House. I'm not saying na may kasalanan ng Speaker, but I'm challenging the Speaker. You have to explain to the Filipinos kung bakit ang opisina ng SecGen ay ganon ang naging aksyon dito. And pwede ba, kung ayaw ng office ng SecGen, ang office of the Speaker na ang tumanggap? Kasi wala naman difference eh. Yung office of the SecGen is a mere adjunct to the office of the speaker. Ang pinakamataas na opisina dyan, because of the leadership, is the office of the speaker. So, china-challenge ko ngayon si Speaker D. Sa Lunes, kung wala pa rin si Garapil, dapat yung kanyang opisina would order the office of the SecGen, whoever is second in command there, or whoever is there, kahit clerk lamang, kung wala sila, absent sila lahat, mag-receive niyan. Kung hindi, ang opisina mismo ng speaker ang tumanggap ng aming complaint. Kung sakali man, mag-decide kami bumalik sa Lunes.